Humanity entered the galaxy with hope. They were young compared to the other races, but they learned fast. Humans did not have the biggest ships or the strongest weapons, yet they had something rare: trust. When the Galactic Alliance asked for help in a great war, humans did not hesitate. The enemy was known as the Koroth Swarm. They destroyed worlds without mercy. Many old races had already lost planets. The Alliance was desperate. They needed soldiers, ships, and courage. Humanity gave all three. Human fleets jumped into battle zones where others refused to go. Human soldiers fought on broken moons and burning stations. They saved alien civilians who looked nothing like them. Again and again, humans stood in the front line. The Alliance noticed this. At first, they praised humans. Alliance leaders called them brave allies and defenders of the galaxy. Human flags were shown in galactic broadcasts. For the first time, humanity felt accepted among the stars. But war changes everything. As the years passed, the war grew darker. The Koroth Swarm adapted. Alliance fleets were destroyed. Old races began to fear extinction. Fear slowly turned into doubt, and doubt turned into suspicion. Some Alliance commanders began to whisper. Humans learned too fast. Humans fought too well. Humans survived battles no one else could. What if humans are the real threat? Some asked. During the final phase of the war, the Alliance planned one last massive attack. All fleets would strike the Koroth home system together. Victory seemed close, but the cost would be high. Humanity volunteered first. Human admirals offered their largest fleets as shields. Human ground forces agreed to land on the most dangerous worlds. Millions of humans knew they might never return, yet they went anyway. The final battle was chaos. Stars burned. Space shook with explosions. Human ships took heavy damage, but they held the line. While other fleets pulled back, humans stayed. They pushed deeper, breaking the Koroth defenses piece by piece. At last, the Koroth Swarm collapsed. The galaxy was saved. Cheers filled the Alliance channels. Old enemies celebrated together. For one brief moment, peace felt real. Human fleets gathered near the victory point, damaged but alive. Medics treated the wounded. Commanders sent messages to Earth, telling them the war was finally over. That was when everything changed. Without warning, Alliance warships shifted position. Their formations were no longer friendly. Weapons powered up. Target systems locked onto human ships. Human sensors screamed alerts. At first, human commanders thought it was a mistake. They sent messages. They asked for clarification. They reminded the Alliance of their sacrifices. There was no answer. Then a single Alliance voice spoke on all channels. Cold, official, final. By decision of the Galactic Council, humanity is declared a galactic-level threat. Human bridges fell silent. The message continued. Humans have shown uncontrolled aggression, rapid military growth, and dangerous unity. For the safety of the galaxy, humanity must be removed. Shock spread through every human ship. They could not understand. They had fought. They had bled. They had saved the galaxy. And now they were enemies. Alliance weapons fired. Human ships exploded in bright flashes. Fleets that once fought side by side now destroyed each other. Human pilots tried to escape, but hyperspace lanes were blocked. Alliance fleets surrounded them from every direction. Entire human squadrons vanished in seconds. On distant screens, Alliance leaders addressed the galaxy. They blamed humanity for the war's destruction. They said humans had planned to take control after victory. Lies spread faster than truth. Some races believed them. Some stayed silent. None helped. As human fleets were destroyed, emergency signals reached Earth and its colonies. Panic spread across human worlds. There was no time to prepare. Alliance fleets were already moving. Human cities looked up at the sky and saw friendly ships turn hostile. The betrayal was complete. In the final moments of the battle zone, one damaged human flagship managed to escape. Its engines burned, its hull broken, but it jumped into deep space. Inside, a human admiral watched the destruction behind him. His face showed no anger, only cold understanding. He knew something the Alliance did not. Humanity had trusted the galaxy once. They would never make that mistake again. And somewhere in the dark, far from Alliance eyes, humanity began to remember. The galaxy moved on quickly. After the betrayal, the Galactic Alliance announced the war was over. They declared a new age of peace. Human names were slowly removed from records. Human victories were rewritten as Alliance victories. To most of the galaxy, humanity became a problem that had already been solved. But on human worlds, it was the darkest day in history. Alliance fleets arrived at human colonies without warning. There were no talks, no mercy. Orbital defenses were destroyed in minutes. Space stations burned like falling stars. Human civilians watched the sky turn red as ships they once trusted opened fire. On Earth, alarms echoed across every city. Governments tried to contact the Alliance. They begged for explanation. They showed proof of loyalty, years of sacrifice, millions of human lives lost in the war. The Alliance did not reply. Instead, they sent soldiers. Alliance ground forces landed in major cities. They took control of communication towers and power grids. Human resistance was strong, but unorganized. Humanity had never prepared to fight its allies. That mistake cost them everything. Human leaders were captured within days. Presidents, generals, scientists, anyone who could unite humanity was taken. The Alliance broadcast their capture across the galaxy as a warning. This is justice, the Alliance Council declared. This is safety. In one public transmission, human leaders were executed. No trial, no defense. Billions of humans watched in silence as hope died on a screen. Some planets tried to fight back. Colonies on the edge of human space launched old ships and small fleets. Brave pilots charged at massive Alliance armadas. They were destroyed before they could fire a second shot. The message was clear. Resistance meant extinction. Human cities burned. Libraries were destroyed. Shipyards were erased from orbit. Entire colonies vanished, leaving only debris and ash behind. The galaxy watched. Some races felt uneasy, but fear kept them quiet. Others agreed with the Alliance. Humans were too dangerous, they said, too emotional, too united, too hard to control. And so, humanity fell alone. Yet not all humans died. Small groups escaped. Refugee ships fled into deep space, beyond known trade routes. Old mining stations were turned into shelters. Broken ships became homes. Humanity scattered like dust between the stars. The Alliance believed this was enough. They declared humanity extinct. Years passed. Without humans, the galaxy felt different. Trade continued. Politics returned to normal. The Alliance grew comfortable again. They believed the threat was gone forever. But deep in forgotten regions of space, survivors gathered. On a silent asteroid base, a group of human officers studied star maps. Their uniforms were worn, their faces older than their years. They spoke quietly, carefully. They knew the truth. Humanity was not extinct. It was wounded. Among them was the admiral who escaped the betrayal. He had seen the fall with his own eyes. He had lost family, friends, and an entire fleet. Yet his voice was calm. We trusted them, he said, and they destroyed us for it. Around him, humans listened. Engineers, soldiers, scientists, civilians who had lost everything. We will not rush, the admiral continued. We will not attack in anger. He pointed to the stars. We will learn. We will adapt. We will survive. Humanity began to change. Old laws were rewritten. New rules were made. Humanity would never again depend on others for safety. They built in silence. No signals. No broadcasts. No pride. Only patience. Children were taught the truth about the betrayal. Not to create hate, but memory. Humanity would remember what the galaxy did. Far away, the Alliance enjoyed peace. They did not notice the small changes in deep space. They did not see the strange energy readings. They did not hear the quiet signals traveling between dead stars. Because humans had learned something important. The galaxy feared strength. So, humanity became something else. Invisible. And as the years passed, one thing became clear in the dark corners of space. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was waiting. 20 years passed. To the galaxy, humanity was a forgotten story. Young races learned about humans only as a footnote in Alliance history. A failed species. A dangerous mistake. A problem that had been solved. The Galactic Alliance felt safe again. Trade lanes were open. New councils were formed. Old wounds from the war slowly healed. The Alliance believed they had restored balance to the galaxy. They were wrong. Far beyond known space, in regions marked as dead and useless, human activity continued in silence. No signals escaped. No ships used normal hyperspace routes. Humanity learned to hide its presence completely. In the darkness, human engineers worked without rest. They studied Alliance weapons recovered from battlefields. They studied alien shields, power cores, and communication systems. Human minds adapted fast, as they always had, but this time they changed their thinking. They no longer asked, "How do we win battles?" They asked, "How do we end wars before they begin?" Human scientists discovered something important. Every major race in the Alliance depended on shared systems, energy grids, jump gates, data networks. The galaxy was connected, and connection could be controlled. Human fleets were rebuilt in secret. These ships looked different from before. No bright lights. No loud engines. Smooth hulls designed to absorb scans. Weapons that did not explode, but disabled. Human soldiers trained for a new kind of war. Fast. Precise. Silent. No glory. No celebration. Only results. On a hidden command station, the Admiral stood before a large star map. Red marks showed former human worlds, now empty or occupied by others. Blue marks showed Alliance core systems. He felt no rage, only focus. Emotion lost us the galaxy once, he told the commanders. Control will give it back. Humanity created a new law. No mercy did not mean endless killing. It meant no second chances. If the galaxy ever turned against humans again, the response would be absolute. Deep inside human networks, a system was prepared. It was not a weapon in the normal sense. It did not fire or explode. It stopped things. Human AI managed energy flows, signals, and gravity patterns. It could reach across star systems using methods the Alliance did not even know existed. The system had a name, Judgment Protocol. It would never be activated without full agreement from human leadership. It was a final option. A line humanity hoped they would never cross. Years later, small signs appeared. Alliance patrol ships began losing power for seconds at a time. Sensors glitched. Communications failed briefly, then returned to normal. Engineers blamed old systems. Then entire outposts went dark for minutes. Still, no one suspected humans. The Alliance believed humanity was extinct. Dead races do not attack. In one distant system, a massive Alliance fleet gathered for exercises. Hundreds of ships activated their drives at the same time. And then, silence. Every ship lost power. No explosions. No warnings. No damage. They simply stopped. Crew members floated in dark corridors, confused and afraid. Backup systems failed one by one. Distress calls never left the system. Minutes later, power returned. Alliance commanders laughed it off as a rare error. Reports were quietly buried. But in human space, confirmation lights turned green. The system worked. The Admiral watched the report in silence. Humanity now had the ability to freeze entire fleets without firing a single shot. But still they waited. Humanity was not seeking revenge. They were preparing a lesson. And lessons require perfect timing. In the deep void, hidden human fleets moved closer to Alliance space. Their presence remained invisible. Their weapons stayed cold. The galaxy continued its routines, unaware that the rules had already changed. Then, on a quiet cycle, Judgment Protocol completed its final test. The Admiral gave the order he had waited decades to speak. Begin Phase 1. Across human-controlled dark space, systems activated, not with noise or fire, but with silence. In the heart of Alliance territory, a star system went dark. Not a single signal escaped. The storm had arrived. The galaxy noticed the silence too late. At first, it was only one system. A minor Alliance world near a trade route stopped responding. No ships arrived. No messages came out. Navigation data showed the star was still there, but everything around it felt wrong. The Alliance assumed it was a technical failure. They sent a patrol fleet. The fleet entered the system and vanished. No distress call. No explosion. No debris. Just nothing. Fear spread quietly through Alliance command channels. Systems were checked. Weapons were tested. Nothing seemed broken, yet something was very wrong. Then, without warning, power returned to the silent system. Alliance ships reappeared on scanners, floating undamaged but completely disabled. Their crews were alive but shaken. No one understood what had happened. Before questions could be asked, new signals appeared. Unknown ships. They did not jump in with bright flashes. They simply appeared, as if space itself opened for them. Their hulls were dark and smooth, without markings. Human ships. For the first time in 20 years, humanity returned to the galaxy. Alliance commanders froze. Some thought it was a trick. Others believed they were ghosts. Humanity was supposed to be extinct. A single human ship moved forward. No weapons were powered. No shields flared. A calm signal spread across all channels. This system is under human control. The voice was steady. Cold. Human. This is not an attack. The message continued. This is a reminder. Alliance ships tried to respond. Their weapons did not activate. Their engines stayed silent. They were helpless. Human vessels moved with perfect order. They surrounded the Alliance fleet not as enemies but as guards. Every movement was precise. On Alliance command worlds, panic exploded. Emergency meetings were called. Leaders shouted accusations. Some demanded immediate war. Others demanded answers. How are humans alive? How do they have this technology? How did they enter our space unseen? No one had answers. As news spread, more systems reported failures. Power loss. Communication blackouts. Jump gates shutting down without damage. The galaxy was being touched, but not burned. In the captured system, a human admiral appeared on a public broadcast. His face was older, lined with years of loss. His eyes showed no anger. 20 years ago, he said, "You betrayed humanity." Alliance officials tried to cut the signal. They failed. "We fought your war," the admiral continued. "We died for your peace. And when victory came, you chose fear." His voice did not rise. "You erased our worlds. You killed our leaders. You lied to the galaxy." Silence followed. "This is not revenge," he said. "This is consequence." One Alliance commander tried to threaten humanity. He demanded humans leave at once or face destruction. The admiral answered calmly, "You cannot fire. You cannot move. You cannot hide." To prove it, human systems activated again. Across Alliance space, fleets froze in place. Planetary shields shut down. Defense networks went dark. Entire military forces were disabled in seconds. No shots were fired. The galaxy watched in terror. Human ships did not attack civilians. They did not destroy cities. They simply controlled everything. Fear spread faster than any war. Some Alliance races sent surrender messages immediately. Others begged for talks. Some denied everything, refusing to believe humans had this power. The admiral ended his broadcast with one final line. "This is Phase 1. Then the signal cut. Alliance leaders realized the truth too late. Humanity had not returned to fight a war. They had returned to end one forever. And this was only the beginning. Fear spread faster than any fleet ever could. After Phase 1, the galaxy changed overnight. Alliance space was no longer safe. Fleets that once controlled entire regions now floated powerless. Worlds that depended on Alliance protection felt naked and exposed. And humanity was everywhere. Human ships appeared near major systems without warning. They did not attack. They did not speak much. Their presence alone was enough to stop trade, travel, and communication. Merchants refused to fly. Soldiers refused to move. Governments froze. The galaxy was in shock. Alliance leaders tried to calm their people. They told them the situation was temporary. They promised a counterattack, a secret weapon, a solution. But deep down, they knew the truth. They had lost control. In many systems, local governments made their own choice. They sent messages to humanity, apologies, regrets, promises of loyalty. Some admitted the betrayal openly. Some blamed the old Alliance Council. Some begged for mercy. Humanity answered none of them. Silence was more terrifying than threats. On one Alliance core world, a council member finally spoke the words no one wanted to hear. "We created this," she said. "We taught humans that trust is weakness." Others argued. They said humans were cruel, that humans were proving why they had to be destroyed. But their words sounded empty, because humans were not killing anyone. They were simply stopping everything. Energy shortages spread. Factories shut down. Food transports failed. Entire economies collapsed without a single bomb falling. Worlds that once felt powerful now depended on human permission to function. This was not war. This was control. In secret meetings, Alliance scientists studied the failures. They searched for damage, viruses, sabotage. They found nothing. Systems were intact. Hardware was untouched. Yet power refused to flow. Signals refused to travel. It was as if the galaxy itself obeyed humanity. One scientist finally understood. "Humans are not attacking our machines," he said. "They are controlling the rules behind them." Panic followed. If humans could control energy, gravity, and communication, then no weapon mattered. No fleet mattered. No empire mattered. Some races turned on the Alliance. Old grudges returned. Blame spread. "You brought this on us. You betrayed them. You chose fear over honor." The Alliance began to fracture. Human observers watched it all from the shadows. They did not interfere. They did not guide events. They waited. On the human command station, leaders reviewed reports. Entire sectors were silent. Trade routes were dead. Alliance authority was collapsing without a fight. Some human officers felt uneasy. "They are suffering," one said. "Civilians are afraid." The admiral listened, then nodded. "We are not here to punish the innocent," he said. "But we cannot allow the guilty to escape again." Humanity remembered what mercy had cost them. Still, humans made one rule clear. Any world that did not raise weapons against humanity would not be harmed. Power would return. Life would continue. Many worlds accepted. They lowered flags. They opened records. They admitted the truth about the betrayal. They erased Alliance lies from history. Humanity restored their systems within hours. Hope returned in those places. But the Alliance Council refused to surrender. Hidden deep in a protected system, the remaining leaders gathered. Fear had turned into desperation. "There must be a way to kill them," one shouted. "They are still flesh, still mortal." An old plan was pulled from forbidden archives. A weapon built during the war. Never tested. Never used. A galaxy-scale device designed to erase entire star regions. It was dangerous. Unstable. It would harm innocent worlds. But desperation does not care about innocence. If humanity could not be controlled, then it would be erased forever. The vote was fast. The decision was final. As the weapon powered up, strange energy readings spread across space. Human systems noticed instantly. Alarms sounded on the command station. The admiral looked at the data and closed his eyes. "They chose this," he said quietly. Humanity had hoped the galaxy would learn. Instead, the Alliance chose the same mistake again. Fear. And fear always leads to destruction. The Admiral gave the next order. Prepare Phase 2. Somewhere in Alliance space, the ultimate mistake was about to be made. The Alliance believed they still had one last move. Hidden far from trade lanes, inside a heavily shielded system, the final weapon began to wake. It had no name spoken in public records. Only a code known to a few council members. It was built during the war, when fear ruled every decision. The weapon was never meant to be used. It was designed to break stars, crush gravity, and erase entire regions of space. Once activated, It could not tell enemy from innocent. It only destroyed. The Alliance accepted this risk. If humanity survives, one council member said, the galaxy will never be free. They ignored the cost. As power flowed into the weapon, space itself began to shake. Strange waves spread outward. Sensors across the galaxy detected something wrong. Human systems detected it first. On the human command station, alarms echoed through silent halls. Data streams flooded in from deep space probes. Energy patterns, gravity distortion, time irregularities. Human scientists did not panic. They had predicted this. The Admiral stood calmly as reports came in. They are activating a total destruction device, a scientist said. It will wipe out multiple sectors. The Admiral nodded. They chose annihilation over accountability, he said. As expected, humanity had prepared for this moment. Judgment Protocol shifted into its final mode. Systems that had once only stopped fleets now reached deeper into the structure of space itself. Human control nodes aligned across dark space. The galaxy was about to hold its breath. The Alliance fired the weapon. A massive wave of energy surged outward. Stars dimmed. Space twisted. Entire systems should have been erased. But something went wrong. The wave slowed. Then it bent. Then it turned. Alliance scientists screamed as readings reversed. The weapon's energy was no longer moving outward. It was folding back on itself, drawn toward Alliance space. Humanity had not blocked the weapon. They had redirected it. Judgment Protocol locked onto the weapon's core systems, controlling the flow of energy and gravity. The Alliance's greatest weapon became its own executioner. Core Alliance worlds froze. Not destroyed, frozen. Time slowed to a crawl. Fleets stopped mid-flight. Weapons remained half-charged forever. Entire regions were trapped in silent stillness, untouched but unable to act. The galaxy watched in horror. This was beyond war, beyond defeat. This was absolute control. The Alliance Council tried to escape. Their ships failed. Their shields collapsed. No signal left the frozen zone. In one final act, the human admiral opened a galaxy-wide broadcast. His voice was heard everywhere. "We did not want this," he said. "We offered silence. We offer restraint." His eyes were steady. "You answer with extinction." He paused. "So we answer with containment." The broadcast showed frozen Alliance space, perfect, untouched, and powerless. "This region will remain locked," the Admiral said. "No one will enter. No one will leave. This is not punishment," he continued. "This is prevention." Across the galaxy, races realized the truth. Humanity could end everything, but they chose not to. Fear turned into understanding. Worlds that had once supported the betrayal now lowered their defenses. They cut all ties to the Alliance. They erased its symbols and laws. The Alliance was finished, not destroyed, removed. As Judgment Protocol powered down, human systems returned control to neutral space. Trade resumed. Power returned to cooperative worlds. Life continued, but the galaxy was no longer the same. On the command station, the Admiral watched the frozen region one last time. His expression was calm, but heavy. "We did not conquer the galaxy," he said. "We protected it." The storm was over. Only one final step remained. A lesson the galaxy would never forget. The galaxy did not celebrate. After the fall of the Alliance, there were no victory songs, no parades, no heroes. There was only silence, deep, heavy, and full of fear. Everyone understood one truth now. Humanity had absolute power, yet humanity did nothing. Human fleets did not occupy worlds. Human soldiers did not rule cities. No flags were raised. Instead, humans did something no one expected. They stepped back. Trade lanes slowly reopened under human control. Jump gates worked again, but only when allowed. Energy flowed carefully, fairly. Worlds that followed simple rules were left alone. Do not attack. Do not betray. Do not lie. That was all. The frozen Alliance region remained untouched. It was visible on every star map, a silent reminder of what fear and betrayal could create. Ships avoided it. Stories were told about it. Children grew up knowing its shape in the sky. It became a warning. The old alliance name was erased, not by force, but by agreement. No race wanted to be connected to it. Laws were rewritten. Councils were rebuilt, smaller, weaker, and honest. Humanity did not join these councils. They stood apart. From hidden stations and deep space networks, humans watched the galaxy. They did not command. They did not threaten. They balanced. When a war almost started between two races, jump gates failed. When a fleet gathered in secret, power systems slowed. When lies spread, records surfaced. No one ever saw human ships, but everyone felt them. The galaxy entered a new age, not of freedom, but of stability. Wars became impossible. Empires could not rise fast enough to threaten others. Power was shared, not taken. Some races hated this. They called humanity tyrants, jailers, gods pretending to be fair. But none dared test them, because they remembered Earth. They remembered the betrayal. On a quiet human world rebuilt from ash, children learned history. They were taught about trust, loss, and responsibility. They were not taught hate. The admiral, now old, stood before a group of young officers. His voice was calm. "We are not rulers," he said. "We are guardians." One officer asked a question all feared. What if the galaxy betrays us again? The admiral looked at the stars. "Then nothing changes," he answered. "We will endure." Far across the galaxy, life continued under unseen watch. Civilizations grew carefully. Ambition was controlled. Peace was not chosen. It was enforced by memory. Humanity never forgot what trust had cost them. And the galaxy never forgot what followed. Because when humanity was betrayed in war, they did not seek revenge. They rewrote the rules of existence. And in doing so, they locked the galaxy into a silence so deep, so complete, that no one ever dared break it again.